All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with Aaron from LSK. I'm Doug. We have the CanAm X3 behind us. It's the LSK race car that we raced the season with last year. And the time has come. It's going to a new home. So we're going to do a quick walk around and talk about some LSK products.
We're going to walk around, show you guys all the LSK parts that are on this car. We use this car for development, and we did a really good job on being able to build stuff all the way from the front bumper to the rear. And we want to give a chance to show you guys what we have. So first and foremost, I'm sure you guys have heard about it. We have our X-Travel on the front. What the X-Travel does is it reduces the steering feedback. We create a virtual pivot point so the tire rotates around the center of the tire. So we can put one wheel against the wall, press the gas, and the wheel's not going to turn. It's really cool for getting rid of that crazy feedback that you get on the stock CanAm. Moving up here, we have our LSK front bumper. The bumper bolts onto either the factory bulkhead, an aftermarket bulkhead with a different suspension, or the X-Travel bulkhead. So you don't have to particularly have a certain bulkhead in order to make this work. It's meant to replace the factory one, and therefore you can use it with just about anything. It does pick up the radiator mounts at the bottom behind here where you can't see, and then just to be able to get the clearance off the ground, there's a little bit of plastic trimming. It's pretty easy to put in. As you slide it up, you can mark the plastic and trim it and fit the bumper into it. Part of the X-Travel setup too I want to talk about is that we have an entire brace set up. So a lot of people will say, hey, I want to go ahead and upgrade the front bulkhead to be stronger. And in this case, we already include all that with the X-Travel. Everything from the points up here all the way down to the bottom is all connected by chromoly plate that goes all the way through, and we give you what you need to make the front end strong enough. So moving over here, we have our cage. This is our radius cage. We have a flat one as well. In this one, we have our roof also. We did not do a windshield since it's a race car, but the roof was a really cool option. We did a little bit thicker so we can make this legal for racing. And then on side of that, we have our doors, which are here. The X3 doors are really cool. It's got like a fighter jet look to it. These are the first set that we made. And then we converted it to a race door setup. So as you can kind of see, let me open the window net. We have its own standalone frame. Comes with a shock to open the door. And the reason it didn't open right here is because we just have a little bit more drag from having the race door set up here. This upper bar is part of our race door upgrade to the door, and it fits seamlessly with the door. So all these pieces come with our race door upgrade setup, and it fits right into the door. It's designed to fit inside this door, and it makes a really nice upgrade so that you can be legal for a lot of the race series. So when it comes to being able to close the door and being able to put two bolts through there, now this becomes race legal. The door is locked out, and it's a cool setup for that. And then a lot of time, a lot of people have struggles with getting a good window net set up. We give you the window net with the race door package as long as you have a radius cage and the door. So you have to have all the pieces to make it all fit together, because if you have a different cage, you're gonna have different gaps here. So this is designed specifically for our cage. Moving in here. We do have our Sparco seat mounts. Underneath the passenger seat we have, which it's hard to show you guys, but we have a dual PC925 Odyssey battery mount. These cars come stock with really tiny batteries, and the PC925 batteries are notorious for being awesome batteries. So we put two of them in here so we don't have a dead battery out in the middle of the desert, and that's a really cool mount that we have as well. Moving back here, we have our number plates. These bolt on. You can bolt them on to the factory plastics. It uses the factory bolts along the top. So this is a really cool setup for being able to display your numbers. And it's also a cool look, even if you're not racing, if you want to put your name on it or whatever you guys want to do. It is a really cool setup. So down here we have our LSK trailing arms. A lot of people think that they won't bend the X3 trailing arms from stock. We did. We broke them. So that led us to go ahead and to make these, and these are chromoly trailing arms that have been through the abuse. They still look brand new. We've really spent a lot of time making sure these things are stout. Down here you'll see there's a rock guard. So what this does is it keeps rocks from getting squished between the tire and the trailing arm. So this really protects that area right in here. And you can see it does take quite an abuse. Moving toward the back, this is something that we really like, and on the back of the car, it's our dual tire carrier. It comes as a weld-it-yourself kit, just like the cage does. And what's cool about this is that it's still bolt on. We're using the 2 bolts down here, and then up top we're actually using a clamshell bung. And that clamshell bung makes it so we can bolt it on and off from the factory frame. So we're not welding onto the factory frame, we're not modifying the powder coat that comes on the frame. We're simply bolting it on and off using that pivot, and it clears the shocks. So one cool thing is a lot of people think, hey, that's a lot of weight. To be honest with you, it drives so amazing through whoop sections that this extra weight, it's just like on a trophy truck where you have the gas tank as far back and it keeps the truck centered. It's a similar theory here. I've never been able to drive a UTV as smooth as this one, and it just stays centered down the whoops. It's not bouncing around. The weight really helps it keep travel straight. So another item that we supply, and this actually comes with the dual spare tire carrier, but you can buy it individually, is the bed delete kit. So this is just a bracket that bolts to the factory cage and bolts all the way to on the plastic fenders. That way it keeps it nice and sturdy and it makes it solid. So this comes with the dual spare tire carrier because you need it. The other item down here is we have our radius arm plate. This makes it double shear. As you can see, this actually does come with this dual spare tire carrier, but you can buy it individually. If you buy it individually, on the newer cars, you'll notice you have a bolts top and bottom. On the older cars, these are actually missing, but it's really cool because these add a lot of strength to the radius plate, so this is not, floating around just on the bolts themselves. Instead, they're actually braced by these upper and lower bolts. If you have an older car, what's cool about this bracket is you can drill the holes and add bolts there to brace this up. So this makes it a lot stronger for even the older versions that don't have these bolts already drilled in the frame. Another cool option is we actually have a Milwaukee pack out. So we actually have a tool bag here that's snapped in. We keep our tools in, and this welds to a dual spire tire carrier. This is an added option that you guys can get from us, and it makes it really easy for you guys to store your parts, so when you're out in the desert, you have what you need and it's not gonna fly around. So if you guys like anything you saw on this X3 and you guys want to get some parts, go ahead and go to lsksuspension.com. Check out each one of these. If you have any questions, make sure to message us or give us a call. Leave comments below and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you guys soon.